Never mind the bullocks. It is Nelson and Derek here for your entertainment and enjoyment. I am Derek T. Stevens. The T stands for too good to color in lines. That's what I did in class when I was little. Got in lots of trouble for it. But I'm a free thinker, a free spirit. And at my side, as always, is my handler, Mr. Rubik's Cube Nelson. Honestly, he changed his name last week. It is now his legal tender name. So, Mr. Rubik's Cube, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Man, I see a lot of stuff changing on the site. It's looking great. I want to give you props for that. Man, a few words. Well, anyway, you're doing a great job, and I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody else does. And we still have lots and lots of stuff to roll out for, I guess, surprises. I won't tip my hat just yet to that. We got several people in class tonight. I want to say hello to you all. I love and respect you all. I am doing it my way. Sid Vicious from the Sex Pistols. So doing it my way, and in attendance to that, is Mr. Wolf Knightley available? If you can bring Wolf, Steve, and Ray in to start out with, that would be fantastic.
All right, this should be on.
Hey there, cats and kittens.
Hello, you lots. How are you doing tonight?
Just peachy.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
Hey, man, you're the man of the hour right now. You know that, right, Mr. Wolf Knightley?
All right.
All right, let's kind of explain to everybody how I threw you into the fray of everything. Because I really believe I asked you to do color work for the comic book, didn't I? Or I just like, hey, guess who's doing color work? It's Wolf. How did that happen?
No, yeah, you asked me, but you said it was a good thing I said yes, or you would have come down here and kidnapped me or something.
Well, we'll just leave it at something because, yeah, you're absolutely rootin' tootin' right. Mr. Rubik's Cube over there in Dixon, Tennessee, we already had our plane tickets coordinated, and we would have come and kidnapped you.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm glad you asked because I didn't know I could do it as good as I apparently can.
You are doing brilliant. And for those who do not know, I'm a collector of awesome artists and making my own bullpen with my other colleague there, Mr. Steven, Too Cool to Have No Hair Curtis. That's just the nickname I threw at him because he has nice, awesome hair, bastard.
And now we've added another one to the collection.
And if you too want to be part of the collection, you need to step up to the plate, put your money in your mouth, Sat, and then perform like a circus monkey. Holy crap, that's not it. That's what I did today. Hey, anyway, so here we go. Mr. Ray, you available?
Should be. I brought him in. Oh, maybe
That's
I did.
what I was sent.
He died.
To color.
Yep.
Yes. Ray ran away.
Darn it, Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray is the man, the myth, the legend. He is the Renaissance man. He has done everything in life, including free base jumping from the big needle thing in Seattle. He's done that twice already and been arrested once. So he does have a record, but I still say that I love him, and I will help bail him out if he decides to do it a third time. So he wrote this awesome story, the comic book that we're actually producing now. Isn't that right, Mr. Steve Curtis? Did everybody leave me?
What?
Really?
Where? What?
Huh?
I'm right here.
What? Am I talking too fast for you, or are you listening too slow?
I'm multitasking.
Okay. Well, do pay attention, 007. Do keep up, right? So who's chuckling in the background there?
Deb.
Hey, Miss Deb. How you doing, girl?
Hi.
And that's the first time I've ever heard her voice. I honestly thought she was a figment of your imagination.
She is. Here too.
Sucker.
That's him speaking with his sock puppet on, you know.
I'm not even going to go there with the sock puppet.
Lamb chop.
All right, we're going to move on because we're going to try to keep this PG-13. I can't believe I'm the one saying that, but I'm obviously having the dirty thoughts. The picture in front of us. This is what Mr. Ray calls a splash page. Technically, it's not a splash page. Splash pages, if you work in the comic industry is a page one and a page two, and it overlaps everything. You have to worry about gutters and this and that. But this is a good way to explain everything kind of like from the get-go, first page. And I have the lettering here done, and you'll see it in a minute with Wolf's coloring. And I want to dissect what he has done and how he did and went about it. So up front was literally a light table version of Steve's Arctic Circle thingy that he did. This was, I hate to say last minute, but this whole page took all of like 2.5 hours to do because we needed it up and ready for the new launch of the front page. And I'm very pleased to say that not only do we have this page, but Miss Fart on a Cracker, Chelsea Curtis, I almost called her Sid. I really had to stop myself. Sid's punking out. She's like, I don't know if I want to do a comic book page. I've got all these photography things I got to do for Buzz. I understand that. That's cool. I'll put you on the back burner, Sid. But Chelsea stepped up to the plate. She's got page 2 done. And then my lovely Liebschon, Eve, has got page 3 and almost 4 done for the comic book. And Wolf has not only dropped color on this page here, and I'll show you in a moment, but is dropping color on page 3. He's my go-to guy for coloring for this, as Steve is way busy coloring like 1,000 different game card art stuff. And Steve, do you want to go ahead and tell him what's going on with you?
Yeah, everybody, I would like to introduce myself as your next instructor for environment concept art for and which will be coming out shortly in the next couple weeks.
A round of applause. Dude, take a moment to stroke your ego and not your lamb chop, okay? Do not be confused with that. Okay?
Not my sock puppet.
Not yours. No, Mr. Hank. Oh, no. Steve,
I'm really looking forward to that class.
Me too. My wife is making sure I take that class. She's like, are you going to take that class? I know, shut up, really? She's like, you going to take his class? I looked at her like, what? It's not that I'm too good for it, but I'm really busy. She's like, you really need to learn how to do backgrounds. She says, doesn't he like paint stuff and stuff?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, he paints stuff and stuff, like brushes and stuff that I don't have in Photoshop. I'm a character artist. But I really am looking forward to hanging out with Steve. And I know I'm going to learn tons in environment art. And I know I'm going to learn tons in Photoshop. He's got knowledge and skills that I don't have, and I'm looking to possess. So with that said, I encourage everybody here, once we get the class up and running, take his class, because the more you know and the more you learn, the more marketable you're going to be. And you too may be collected by Steve and myself as the art bullpen.
And then,
Ray would like to be voiced in.
This is a one-on-one class, but it is the first of 8 classes. So by the time you're all the way done, we'll be able to do parallaxed backgrounds for movies to video game art, you name it.
Nice.
Sweet.
I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Rubik's Cube Nelson, can you please bring Mr. Ray back in?
Already on it.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. How you doing tonight?
Doing great.
I wanted you in here because this is your baby.
And it's a big group effort. I'm just happy I could contribute some stuff to this.
Well, thank you. And before we go on,
I really love what you guys have come up with.
thank you. And I cannot wait to show you the other stuff if my Luption is here and if Chelsea is here as well. With that said, though, Mr. Ray and I have talked, and Steve and I have talked, and I love the ideas that we're all coming up for. But at the same time, we have a really solid story written, and I really want to make art for the story in that confines. We can throw out a couple of good ideas, but I want to stick to the story basis, because if we continue to flounder in concept only, we're never going to produce or get anything done. And it's to the point now where concept for the story, at least, is done, and we need to move forward. So I encourage everybody to go to the forums and read the story. If you have some ideas and want to throw some concept art of your own, please do that. But we're going to try to stick to the story as close as possible, because concept's done for that. We're going to move on, and hopefully we're going to hook a lot of more people in once these pages are on the front page of 3D Buzz. Again, it's going to be an ongoing story. It's going to explain how our heroine came to power and what this actually means. And eventually I hope that we're also going to introduce humans and the like of that, those dirty hairless apes without pointed ears. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at this chick in front of me. Okay, so she has a bat-like nose. She's got a killer body and pointed ears. If I was drunk enough and it was dark enough, who knows? I might invite her to play Parcheesi with me or make my own sock puppet.
Oh dear.
And then we would play shadow puppets. Okay.
I hear crickets.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. All right, so going back to the basis of this comic book page here, that literally is a rendering thrown on the light table of what Steve did. I needed an environment to throw up there. Wasn't really happy with the moons. Either was, I don't think Steve was. I know Wolf was. And he's like, what the hell are those? I'm like, they're for my circle template. I was in a hurry. He's like, I'm going to rework those. Shut up. It was true. Again, 2.5 hours, not bad work. Each one of these creatures down here, these lovely Alethian women, we have the fire, you see my notes down here, earth, and strategically placed right here in front of her breast is a piece of earth that is floating in front of it. That's how you get away with doing stuff in comics. True life story. I was at a group home, not because I was there, but working. The kids were asleep, right? And even back then in the day, I had aspirations of being in the comic books. So I was doing a cyberpunk version of a comic strip. It was about this elf cybernetic guy getting ready. And 9 Inch Nails was huge. It was right after the Pretty Hate Machine, Downward Spiral. And I Want to Blank You Like an Animal. That's the song, right? And I'm not going to say the actual word because we may have young kids here. So I'm drawing this guy, and there's soap everywhere. And I actually let her in, I want to, and then 2 soap bubbles, then like an animal. And like an idiot, I forgot my drawing there. And I got written up because of that. So I say this to say, even though it's PG-13, watch your audience. Can I have an amen?
Amen, brother.
All right. So enough ado and all that stuff. Let's see what Mr. Wolf Knightley came up with. So.
You want to jump to a screen?
No, I got it here on my screen. But we're going to go to his screen in a minute if he's done any screen captures of, layers and stuff like that, because I definitely want him to explain what's going on. This is the finished product. And as Steve so poignantly pointed out, this is saved in a PSD. It is in a layer form. I just have to correct it. This is written by Mr. Ray. And I'll do my best British voice for you to journey to Elythia, where the mist of millennia past. Its natives bound with slipping life forms, living crystals capable of manipulating matter and energy at the quantum level, giving Elethians command with 1 M instead of 2, over. And then we have fire, earth, water, and air. So this is the first page to kind of show what direction we're kind of going in. And Wolf was very, very great at contacting me. And that's the other thing I want to talk to you guys and gals about. Whenever you do work for somebody, and I had to deal with it today, yay me. Especially at the beginning, when you're first working on the project, you're in contact constantly with your client. Today, I was doing, I got signed to a 110 book plus book anthology, not anthology, it's a very dark book. And so we're developing the character, and I was really happy with what was going on. Send it to him, and he's like, no, I need this changed, and he nailed it on the head. He's like, the first 10 to 12 pages are the hardest. After that, you're really going to get a feel for the characters and know what's right and what's wrong. So the same thing with our Alethians. We've done tons and tons of concept work. And however, with that said, Wolf's like, there's no hair on these chicks. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about the hair. I'm like, paint me some hair in. He's like, where? I'm like, get that one earth chick some piggy tails and put something in the back. And the earth or air lady. He's like, yeah, put a mane on her. I'm like, yeah. So I say that to say that I'm really proud of Wolf. He was in contact with me constantly, asking, does this color scheme work? Does this? And it was give and take. It was a great compromise. No feelings were hurt, and he did great. So that is the finished first page, except for, of course, the M in command. But Mr. Wolf, do you have all your stuff up so you can kind of walk us through the process, what you did?
Yeah, if my computer can take it.
All right. And one last person I'm looking for, Mr. Rubik's Cube. Eve if she's available, because I definitely want her take because she's doing page 3 and 4.
All right, she's in.
Good Abend, good morning, mein Liebchen. Come touch my monkey, dance with me. Dancing. Welcome to Sprockets.
She sent me both 3 and 4 now.
She's a freaking monster, isn't she? I think she's going to do
Yeah,
3
she's
and
turned
4.
up.
She'll do page 3 and 4, and I'm like, page 5's open. I'll do 6. I know she's thinking about it, but I'm willing to do 5 or 6 unless we have somebody in class who wants to step up right now. Raise your hand, and we'll take a look at your artwork, and you too can be part of this brilliant comic book scheme, the rock and roll swindle of 3D Buzz that we got going on. And the plans are to change the pages once a week, so we'll have plenty in the can. And then, you can go back and you can read it all the way through. Because this MMO project is going to take a long time to do. We're not sprinting. It's going to be a long distance run. So, Wolf, if we can take your screen,
Sure.
that would be brilliant. All right. Hey, I just seen that. Brilliant work.
Okay. You notice, first off, this is different. That's I didn't do the one that he showed because I did this one, but he didn't like his drawings, and so Derek did the one that you. Well, actually, you did effects on Steve's work, right?
Literally, I'm like, I didn't like the way I drew it, again, because 2.5 hours, it should have commanded a lot more work. I loved what you did at the bottom, so I literally drug and dropped his in and threw some special effects around because we needed that red sky, and I put my moons in there. And Wolf so pointedly mentioned, go ahead and tell him. Go ahead. It's okay. You can embarrass me. I'm good with it. I can cry. The lighting effects, if you forgot.
Oh, the light for the one that you did.
Yeah.
I asked you where the lighting was coming from, and you said no idea. But I think you weren't looking at it, so you just couldn't remember. But are you
Good
talking
save.
about the planets?
It's one of your cheater answers you won't let them use. That's what I did.
Good save. Shut up, Steve.
You're talking about the planets, right?
Yeah, the planets / moons. Those.
Oh, not the
things.
planets. Yeah, the moons. This one looks like a planet, but anyway, I mean, the reason why I chose to put the lighting coming from behind facing them is because that's the only way that you'd see them. If the lighting was behind them, which is what you did, you wouldn't be able to see these big full moons because the light wouldn't be shining on them.
And when Wolf pointed it out to me, I already sent it off to Nelson. I'm like, crap. And then Steve's like, you misspelled command.
Well, the thing is like most people aren't really going to notice the lighting thing. They're
not. But at the same time, I'm really glad that you pointed it out. That means you're thinking. Obviously, I was not. I was just intent in getting this done and getting it out. And sometimes it happens, should not have happened. So that was a brilliant, brilliant catch. So well done.
Well,
I would have loved to have had what? I would have loved to have had the sun or the star coming from the light coming from here and coming out because of how everything's shaped. Then the shadows would have looked a lot more interesting. It was much more difficult to because there's all this, especially there was all this empty space where I was just I don't know. I guess I'll put a little shadow here, like there's something there, because it just make it less plain. But yeah, because I was just thinking. Planets or the moons, has to be logical. Yeah, this is actually this is the last panel that I did those ones first, but
you started with the fire chick first, and
yeah.
When I did the first page, the pencil page, I drew a couple circles with my circle template, and they're like, okay, this is going to be a placeholder for where the fire's going to go. And at first you had a little bit of fire. I'm like, no, we need to have a globe-looking thing with a fire incandescent inside of it, and you nailed it. Really well done.
Hey, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Can I play client for a little bit?
You can, but I'm going to leave the room.
No, you're not, because I'll be talking to you.
Shit. I mean, shoot.
On the panel that you did, the Journey to Alethea print sucks.
That is comic book sans.
It sucks.
Well, it's comic book sans. I'm not a letterer.
You should do with that what you did with the air, earth, fire, water, and you should put it in the lower part of the landscape where it's just kind of done. Having said that,
I can't do that. I mean, I could do that, but my direction from my writer, Ray, correct me if I'm wrong and come to my defense, darn it, he wanted it up there like that.
Yeah, I wanted a caption that, again, I'm willing to look at a different way of doing it, but what I wanted...
No, you're not. You told me if I didn't do it, you'd kill me.
I was talking to you. Steve's a different story.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted the Journey to Alethea and then the caption box with those words in it.
oh, I forgot the caption box.
More people doing the things toward the bottom. Now, that was my thought. I'm not an artist. I'm the writer guy.
I'm looking at Wolves and I forgot the caption box was in that spot, so that's cool. Secondly, though, not to create more work for you, but
But you're going to.
that environment that he did of my drawing is better, and you should use that.
Nah, I don't like my drawing there.
You're saying
Yeah, but his coloring saved it, and you should use it. That looks better.
All right,
that's
well,
funny. That's funny because I like what he did.
Yours is too pink.
mine is not pink.
It is
And
not Care Bear Planet.
It is rose. It's rosy, jolly, nice, and good. It's a beautiful sunset.
Uh-huh.
Well, the sun's coming up. You take your pick.
It looks very alien to me.
Thank you very much.
Looks very pink to me.
You're old and colorblind. You need more vitamin E and D and C.
All right, I'm just saying. You can take it over, people. But
My wife does the same thing. I'm just saying, I'm like, no, that's you being not passive aggressive to get the last word in.
all right, I'll get the last word in. Change them, damn it.
All right. So Eve, are you here, girl?
Yeah.
So what do you think of this page? Let's get into the artist opinion. And be nice to me, Eve.
Honestly, I like the environment you did better. Maybe because I don't know if it's finished what Wolf did with the coloring. But personally, I like the environment part in your version better. But that's just my opinion.
There's more detail in his. This is,
Yeah.
is it
And
more,
it's
Almost
not-
kind of
not pink.
structure and more
That's just because he
detail.
took mine and changed the color.
Yeah.
So yeah, see, take a compliment, darn it. Have you seen
Yeah.
any of Wolf's page 3 that he's colored yet?
No.
Either have I. Maybe after he walks us through this, I'm
Yeah.
going to shut up and let him do it. He can debut that here.
Yeah,
If I
sure.
could make one quick comment. Whenever you show an adult Alethian, they should have a visible soul stone in the clavicle.
I got my air chick or water chick with one, but you're right. And I have my fire chick one too. You just can't see because I put her hand in the way, but she's got one.
yeah.
And a rock is in the way of the earth one.
Yeah, and it's there too.
Air is in the way of the air one. Yeah, okay.
Air. Oh.
All right. Continue, please, before you're interrupted again.
All right.
Good point,
So,
Mr. Ray.
so what I did when he showed me that in class before I ever got it, I had time to kind of think about it and realize I was going to have to do some element stuff. So I had time to freak out on how I'm going to draw fire because I, haven't really done that much or at all anything to this quality. And of course, wind. At first, I'm thinking, how will I ever draw wind? But
I know, right? Well,
so
it's
I
like,
was pretty.
how the hell do I draw wind? I'm like, I don't know. Make
Yeah.
it windy looking.
Yeah, that was stressful. So I was thinking about this. So the first thing I did was just open, you know, Google Images and stuff, whatever, just to try and find elements, different element things. Obviously, at first I did fire, so I collected all these different fire pictures and fire magics and things, trying to just get that. And that, you know, from those, I sampled a few of the different colors. I have like something like 4 different colors for the fire, and so I experimented with that. I know that Derek said he wanted it kind of translucent, so not super bright. So so I did that at first, and then he wanted the fireball thing, or the fire to be in this like sphere. Yeah, and so I put that, and then I thought, oh, it'd be cool if I put another little sphere in there, brighter. So that worked. And these the colors, I just tried to keep it with fire colors. So I think those
Worked out really well.
Yeah, and I didn't want to, you know, I just didn't want everything to be fire. I didn't want her skin to be red, everything to be red. But this was red. The background, Derek had said he wanted background red, and he gave me
Not pink, but reddish.
yeah.
Same.
And so yeah, before I even started, I thought a little bit about it. I thought about do skin this one. I'll try it just with this skin color that I've already used a lot, and I thought this skin color a friend of mine really liked from the big image plane coloring thing I did. So and I thought, well, that's great for an earthy look, you know. So did that, and I thought, you know, browns and greens. So that's what that's all about. Actually, I tried for first one on her eye. It doesn't. I don't know if it really shows. There's not a lot of space, but I try to make it a little bit look like it's burning fire, her retinas. But
I can see that. It's good. Good attention to detail.
Yeah, thanks. And you know, so I had this image. I had 2 days to work on it. So and Derek needed it Sunday night, and he's 3 hours later than me, so that makes it
even crunch more of your time.
Yeah, right. Because Derek was getting tired, and he was, you know, it was.
What? Don't tell him that. I never sleep.
Every time I would send it to him at a certain point, he's just like, "Is it done? What more you have to do?" You know, the same things I was saying before. You know, when I add, you know, some hair and maybe some more shading layer.
Well, I was worried about meeting the deadline, and we met the deadline with plenty of time. You worked your butt off for it, and again, it only took me like 2.5 hours to do everything, and you spent 2 days on it. So it is a testament of what you put in. My $10 million question is, do you think that, well, like page 3 you're doing right now, is it moving faster for you since you already got kind of a base and how you're doing things down?
I think it's moving a little faster. I mean, I think as I went through this, I kind of started going, hey, you know what? It'd be a little easier if I did, you know, like things like, instead of, like, I think this first one I just painted the skin all the way in, and then at some point I got to where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lasso tool most of the body and then paint that in, and then just paint the sides, you know.
Work smart, not hard. Well done.
Right. So that helps me go a little faster. If anything big, if it's small enough, then that's more of a hassle, and I'll just color it straight. Yeah, so what there are, I had certain images, like I got this image that I really wanted to do, but there just wasn't time at all. You know, I barely got hair and this second layer of shading here, which is pretty good because this is you got this really intense light source right here, very close, and could be kind of a darker environment and stuff. So that looks really good. Plus, it sets this one apart, and it's really good if you can set you can make each different panel look a little bit different. So it's just something like fun for the eyes. Where you just kind of just have a reason to. So it's just not all kind of the same thing. So it just makes you want to look at them and enjoy them. So that's kind of nice to have that difference there. I really wanted to do, like what I was trying to say is that I had this vision of the background to have these falling hot ash. So it'd just be like, what?
Yeah, like, ooh, that looks nice. That would have been nice. I'm not complaining. Yeah. You did great.
Well, I told you about that, but there's just no time for that. That would have been really, that could have been really pretty if I could have made it like it was in my mind. But you know, it's something that I can use somewhere else, you know, perhaps.
Right. And like I was telling everybody, Steve and I were in constant contact. My man wife, Steve, got funky, cool hair, Curtis, and I was like, man, you got to see this stuff. What?
This is really someday I'm just going to kick you.
You will. And then we'll do the Snoopy dance. And one day we'll record the Snoopy dance and it shall be on 3D Buzz. But I'm digressing. I was telling Steve, like, man, you got to see what he's doing, man. This is freaking phenomenal. I didn't show him for the longest time. I'm like, this is some top-notch, near pro level, what he's doing and what he's kicking out.
Hey, you told me it was a pro level. Damn it.
Well, I can't tell you that now in front of everybody. I got to make you want it more and harder.
All right.
So, and what I will interject there is, so let me get this right, Wolf. You had a limited time frame. You delivered a completed project on schedule, and you couldn't do everything you wanted to do, but you delivered a project that looked good.
What was the last part?
You couldn't do everything that you wanted to do, but you delivered a product that looked good. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Welcome to the world of pros, buddy.
Right. Yeah, like I wanted to put hair on, especially hair. I could have gone without hair on her. I still would have, if I would have had time, I would have done that. But I really wanted to do something like kind of look a little, I don't know, like a little bit like flames or something, like something up here, and you know, just wanted to explore that. But I definitely didn't have any time, so I'm really just glad that I got a couple of hair to show that, oh look, some of them can have hair, you know.
Yep.
And
I'm really, really pleased with the way you portrayed the water around her. That was beautiful. I love the shades. I mean, you can tell her foot's in there, and you can tell it's water. It's really, really well done.
Yeah, that's
and it was
cool.
Great. And your idea was to make it stormy in the background, which blew me away.
Yeah, you were thinking just another like
a solid bright light. Yes.
Color. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought, you know, more of this, you know, like that. Otherwise, it's a little bit more like maybe she's just walking through the water. But if you also have it storming, it's kind of like, oh, maybe she's controlling all of this. It's
really well done. Well done.
Now, just to show, I go crazy with layers, but that's because, like, so you know, this layer for the skin, layer for nails, whatever. But what's a very cool thing is that I don't know, actually, just for right now, I'm just going to duplicate this. Now, what you can do is you can go here and you can create a color overlay. I already have one here, and you can turn that on or off. I do not know why. Okay, now see what happens here is now you can change her skin color at any point. So if I show this to Derek and he says, "Ooh, I don't like that skin color," I don't have to do anything drastic, you know.
But just pick a color and drag it.
Yeah, right.
That is a way to save time. That's a great plan.
Otherwise, I would have to like maybe lasso or do a mask or something around. You know, if this was all just one solid colored image, you know, because then if I change the color, it would change everything. You know, but this way I can change individual things. Yeah, I guess I didn't need to do that. Anyway, so, and then I use folders. Folders are really great. This everything here is in panel 2 or second panel, whatever I called it. And then inside this panel, and I have, you know, different skin colors now, eyes, nails. I just put that all under skin color. But then this is clothes, so you know it's the same thing. It's the different colors. So you can just, like I said, you could just go color
You have
overlay.
infinite possibilities, and that's the main thing, especially being freelance stuff. And it's bit me in the butt before. We were doing some banners for 3D Buzz, and I sent them to Steve. He's like, "Well, I like this, but I don't like this. Send me the Photoshop file." I'm like, didn't really save that like that. I just made a JPEG. And that is my fault because I'm an idiot. I didn't take the time. I had too much going on, and then you had to go back and recreate. And by me not doing it, taking a little bit of time to doing that, I had to go back and redo the entire thing. So what you're telling us is brilliant and should be the gospel. Make layers, save multiple things.
Yeah, I gave him a lot of crap.
He did a lot of crap.
Oh yeah, you know, here it's a cool thing. Just you see the little eye by the effects. Click that off, and that's the cool thing about the color overlay is that it keeps the original intact. But anything, so there's that. Then some other stuff. Fireball. Oh. Okay.
Let me ask you about the fireball. Did you paint that in? Did you take textures, or how did you do the fireball?
I painted it in.
Well done, my friend.
Thanks. You know, I just looked at references to kind of look what the fires would do. Oh no, that's. See, so there's all these little things. So it's not. I can still, like, it. You know, there again, if Derek didn't like the inner thing, it's like, oh, that's too bright. I want to be able to see it. You know, I could get rid of it. See,
Because that guy named Derek seems like a real butthole.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, shut up. And Wolf agrees. Like, yeah. Eve, you going to say anything in my defense?
No.
No, you're not.
999.
I haven't kind of paying attention.
What?
So, yeah, I totally back you up on that.
Thank you. I'll send you $5.
There you go. That's what it looks like without the initiating. And here's without the. See, that's how it was originally, and then I really wanted to at least give more to this one, like for the reasons I already said. So I'm really happy about that. So that's the first panel, and then it was, you know, I did the same thing with each panel. This one, like I said, I went earthy. I had both the vision of kind of this kind of a tone and a very light green in the background, and
So when you first seen
try things and work. What?
when you first seen the drawing that I sent you, you're like, oh crap, what the hell am I going to do? Or did you like, oh, this, boom, boom, boom?
Well,
The ideas.
I just the first, and then, but you didn't give it to me right. Or you didn't have it to give to me right away. You had to work on it or something, and so in the anatomy class, and so I got to see it, and so I was just thinking about it, like, oh, how am I going to do? So I had that time to think about it. So when by the time late that night when I got it from you, I had envisioned certain things. I had envisioned that I wanted her to be green. I was just thinking, I was envisioning this, using this color and that color, this one. Yeah, I know I wanted, this is it. I don't think this is completely a pastel, but it's close to pastel at least. It's around that range, I would think.
Well, it's a seafoam. It's a perfect color for it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a what?
Seafoam? I know, it's like mauve. You don't think it's a real color, but it is.
Let me have your name.
Seafoam.
Seafoam.
Seafoam. Okay. Well, what I was thinking for this one, I saw that there's all these little things on her outfit, and I was thinking her outfit could be very coral, especially with I knew that there's going to be water here.
Let me back up just a minute, because some of the cards I did for Mr. Steve, Cool Hair Curtis, I put some stuff in there, and he's like, you're gibbling, you're just making silly stuff. And I'm very glad you read that as coral. That's all I have to say.
All I have to say is, how come I don't get this clean of line work?
Well, you know what? It wasn't quite as clean. I had to do some cleanup. I mean, it was this clean. It was actually cleaner, and I messed it up a little bit. Sorry.
You did. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And to be honest with Steve, the card stuff we're doing, 6 cards a day doesn't sound like a lot, but my God, it is. It's hard to do 6 cards a day, and I do hurry. And I mean, it's a good product, and I'll try to slow down for you, Steve. But it is. It's difficult.
All right, I'll fix it. I'll make you look good.
No, you're make us look good, because both our names go on the cards. and let me tell everybody this. Usually, the line art that I gave Wolf, I knew that he didn't have as much experience as Steve did. It was a rush job, but I did try to make my lines clear, because, believe it or not, we skipped the inking process altogether. I literally that was one of the reasons, like, okay, well, I drew it, but now I need to ink it. Then I have to wait for morning time to take it to Staples, because it doesn't fit on my scanner. I just needed a clean scan. And I'm like, you know what, screw it. Steve's doing this without any inking at all. So if I make my lines a lot clearer for Wolf, he'll do it with no problem. So we skipped a big step.
Indeed.
It was a happy accident. It's all about speed and turnout. We met the deadline. Well done, Mr. Wolf. Very, very proud of you. With that, it's close to 10 o'clock when we come back. Miss Eve, are you there?
Yeah.
What I want to do is I want to take your screen. I want you to walk through the process of page 3 and 4 if you got them ready. I know you got page 3 ready. And then we'll take Wolf's screen again so we can see what color work he's done so far. And actually, when we first come back, I want to be able to take questions and comments from the panel. And I really encourage you guys to say what's on your mind, especially like, oh my gosh, Derek, you're so awesome. Or, wow, Derek, you did that in 2.5 hours. Or, oh my gosh, why is Steve Cool Hair Curtis ragging you so much? I'm on your side. So especially the last one, if you want to say that, we will definitely take your screen as long as you're on my side, even if you're not on my side. Mr. Rubik's Cube, if they're not on my side, I want you to kick them, okay?
I will do my best.
But with that said, really, Steve and I compliment each other really well. Like every day I'm like, Steve, you have a smooth, sexy, soothing voice. And he's like, well, Derek, so do you. We compliment each other all the time like that. No, but seriously, he's like yin and yang. He's the businessman. I'm Sean Spencer, and he's my Guster. I'm all play and stupidity, and he's all business. And he'll make me an honest artist, so I appreciate him. A-hole. With that said, we're going to take a 5, maybe 8-minute break to get an adult beverage, take a potty break. When we come back, we'll open it up for questions from anybody in the panels. We'll go to Eve, then back to Mr. Wolf, and then if Chelsea is here, I'd like to see her work as well, and get Sid if she's at home with you guys tonight. Yes, sir.
Chelsea's having browser issues and doesn't know if she's going to make it. She's trying to get it emailed to me, but she hasn't succeeded so far.
Okay, roger that. We got some time.
Can I make
Yes,
one more point before
Yes,
you
sir.
go? Remember how I said that this one, like how I liked it set apart because it has 2 different layers of shadows.
Yes.
This one, I thought if I could do kind of more of a pastelish, kind of coral-looking color tone to everything, and I think it really works. Like I think it's a striking difference, and I think that helps things a lot. Like this one's different, than you have normal. And you've got this one, and then this one's very like clean looking. I think that all.
It's very aesthetically pleasing to the eye.
Something to think about. Okay, that's it.
All right, Mr. Rubik's Cube, please take us out.
Can I say one more thing? In case you want to know how to make these clouds,
Yes.
there's
The brush?
There's a brush. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Is it this? Yeah, charcoal large smear. That's what I use, and what it does is it uses the 2 colors that you have, and if you have pressure sensitivity, the more you press, the more it goes to the bottom color, I think. That's how it works. And so you do that, and it's pretty nice for making this kind of look.
Hey, guess what, Mr. Wolf? I really have to let you go because it's raining outside and the doors are off my Jeep. That means I'm going to be soaking wet by the time I get in here.
That's all I have to say. Yeah.
Roger that. Let's take 5, maybe 10. Hey, welcome back, everybody. I usually make up stupid crap to say what I did on break, but literally I'm soaking wet. It's raining here in North Carolina, living in the mountains, and my Jeep top is off, the doors are off, and I'm literally soaking wet. I come back to class, and Wolf's like, hey, man, I like my rain here. I'm like, smart aleck? He's like, no, really, no correlation to that. He's like, we're going to talk about his rain in here in a minute. But right now, since we're back in class, and I have Rubik's Cube over there, he actually did 15,000 setups while eating ravioli, and not got a drop spilt anywhere. Very amazing, Mr. Rubik's Cube. Very impressed. But with that said, let's open up the question panel. Does anybody have any questions or comments what we're doing so far? We would love to hear from you. Chirp, 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 chirp.
Yeah, not seeing anything.
I have a question. How did you do those raindrops? It's awesome.
Oh, Chelsea's here too. She made
All
it.
right, good. I'm glad you're here, Chelsea. You know what, Mr. Wolf, since you're being a smart aleck, you can just wait for your raindrops. We will get to your raindrops in a second. Take Eve's picture. Computer take it. Smart aleck. I like my rain because it's raining there. I love you, Wolf. I really thought you were like being a smart aleck.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm used to Steve. He would have said that if he thought of it.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, mein Liebchen, you have the con.
Yes, I do have the monitor. Yeah, I just finished the last outfit. You wanted armor and night outfits and stuff. At least you said last week. So I got a little creative with that.
I like that. If you can email everybody or put it in the Dropbox, because this is what we're going to go to. Chelsea, I love Chelsea to death. We'll bring Chelsea in if you can, Mr. Rubik's Cube. I'm like, her page was good. I'm like, well, Eve drew some hair on the baby. She's like, what? I'm like, well, in all fairness, you didn't get page 2 done, and so she kind of ran with it. So we need to have, correlation with what she's done. She's like, damn it. So we need to have these art assets up so we can all be on the same page so we have correlation together.
Okay. Basically, I just finished this one, and the color on this one I showed a couple of weeks ago, just for to see some color schemes and have some different outfits to maybe choose from or get inspired by. It's basically just my ideas, and
What you're saying, my girl with the nipple block, the rock blocking the nipple's not a good outfit?
I wouldn't call it an outfit, no.
It is a birthday suit, therefore it is an outfit. But go ahead.
So yeah, that's I had to kind of split the page in the script. So basically, page 4 in the script isn't done yet, technically, but there was just so much going on for that page that I basically did 2 to cover
And you
the
and
third page.
I talked about it because you and I are on the same page. I've been in your shoes where a writer, and no offense or disrespect to Mr. Ray, he's not written for comics before, but the last book I did is like a 32-page book, and the guy had so much in each page, and that's fine, but the more panels you have on the page, the less detail you're able as an artist to put in, and it gets convoluted. So I'm really glad that you're like, hey, let's talk about this. You need to do the right thing.
Yeah, basically I spoke with Ray about it too, and it's also the reason why I basically had to go digital, because usually I would have just done it with pen and paper, but because I knew there's so much going on, and I wouldn't be able to kind of fit everything on the page or do bigger panels. So basically I had another document opened in Photoshop, did the basic drawings and details there, and kind of imported it into the final page and kind of twisted and turned and resized it to kind of fit it. And
that's great. I mean, use the tools at hand. That is brilliant.
Yeah, usually I just have, like I told you, experience in drawing manga, and so basically I don't know if the panel layout, I try to stick kind of to what I know about comics. If it's not conventional.
No, it's very conventional, and I'm very pleased with it. It's a good read. Your eyes drawn to the top, and it's a Z formation. And actually, probably after we have one more anatomy class, we're talking about dynamic drawings or figures, and we're going to do that tomorrow because Friday. I'm actually going to be meeting with some people from Epic and World of Warcraft on Friday. They want to meet with me, which is kind of cool and exciting. So that's why I won't be able to do class on Friday. We're going to do it Thursday. But after the anatomy class is the fantasy art class, and then after that, probably a steampunk class. And after that, I'm really thinking about talking about how to make it in comics. So hopefully by then I'll have like 5 or 6 books under my belt, very recent books. I've had several in the past, and that way I'll feel more I guess, adequate to be able to teach it. And that's one of the things we'll go over is page layout. Because there's several ways you could have tackled this. The panels are good reads. It's dynamic. I love the first opening panel. I love the background guys. Yeah, the spot blacks that you got there. Not a lot of detail, but they're Alethians. Well done. And that dude in the hat. He's the guy, isn't he?
Yeah, isn't he? The cloaked figure, I thought maybe if you have tribes and stuff like that, it's kind of a mix of different kind of monk stuff. If, for example, monks or some kind of clerics are common in the cities, it wouldn't be so unusual if someone would disguise himself in those kind of robes to stand at a kind of ceremony and watch what's happening, and you wouldn't be recognized.
But what I really love what you did, and I'm going to throw it back to Schindler's List, all shot in black and white except that little girl, and she was in pink, not red. I'm just throwing it out for Steve. I got cool hair. I can use Jill Curtis, okay? She was in pink, not red. And the whole reason why they put that girl in pink in that movie was they wanted the eye to follow her and see what happened to her. She eventually dies, and they wanted to kind of give that, it's a loss. That was something special that you've seen. And what you did, or even crowd backgrounds, if you watch in movies, a lot of people wear the grays and blacks and stuff, but maybe the main character that you're supposed to be following through the crowd has a different color. It's a bright blue or red shirt on, so they stand out. So that was
And lighting,
really,
they do lighting
and,
things.
and lighting too. Really, really well done.
Basically, the same thing with the details and the silhouettes. I already had those for basically these drawings here, because when you take the clothes away, you see it's basically I just did once a spot black silhouette and copied it to have kind of those mannequins to put clothes on.
And again, working smart, not working hard.
You did a great job with those clothes.
Yeah, I love them.
Some of them more than others. They just stand out. They're really poppy.
Don't rag on my nipple thing, okay? Mr. Ray, what do you think about the clothes?
The clothes are great, and they can. It looks like they have people from all over different countries, which is exactly what you want to have.
Yep.
You don't want them to all dress the same.
Exactly. Or show all their breast. I've really.
Here you have, for example, some Greek, Roman stuff. Here was more Pakistani and Indian robes. This one's more Persia. Here's a mix between, I think, Korean, Chinese, and some fantasy Asian-looking monk outfit from other mixer from other MMOs I played. It's kind of, compared to this one on the right, it's really worth. It's kind of the last one I did when you so rudely interrupted me when you had the banter 10 minutes ago.
What?
When I said that I didn't pay attention because I was kind of really concentrated to get it done before break.
All right, hands up. Who hates her? Me? Steve? Do you concur?
Oh, yes. Yes. Well, as I stated before, I hate.
We mean that with love, because you're fast, and that's awesome. And again, I collect people. You're part of our art team, and I'm very, very proud of you.
So, back to the comic. Ray had this scene described where the girl gets the crystal, where the parents meet with the priest. I had to kind of cut corners in the dialogue between the priest and the father and the mother. So basically I left here spaces for you to put caption boxes in. So I had that.
I will try to proofread them again before I put actual. I'm not a letterer, and I'm using comic book sans because it says comic book on it.
If you want, I can add speech bubbles in if you like, so that you don't have to put those speech bubbles in yourself.
Yeah, I don't want to take. I know you're a busy woman. You got stuff to do. Well, we'll talk about that after class. I can't say yes because then I look like a weak little wimp. Shut up, Steve.
I didn't say a thing.
Okay, can I make just 3 quick comments?
Yes, please do.
But there are a couple of things. Number one, the Madge at the top upper right, he needs a soul stone.
Yeah, I just thought maybe it's covered up by the rope.
Could be. It's right on the edge, but it sort of jumped out at me as why is he different? Number two, these are 2 related things. When the 5th stone comes in, and you've got to remember there are 4 stones going into the guy's hand. So you're not going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stones.
No. That's not what I meant. It's basically a movement line where you have those 4 ones lying already on the floor. It has to be kind of done with color, so that maybe this one, let's say it's a ruby, and it would be colored lighter red
Yeah,
Not
to
pink.
indicate movement, and it would jump down here
so
in between.
the movement lines, good.
Yeah.
Now, and it is absolutely, that was my other 2 comments. Number 1 is that the 5th stone needs to be absolutely different from the other 4. In fact, you might even make it a different shape, not just a different color. Because it's a stone like nobody's ever seen before. It's really weird, and the kid is drawn into it instantly, and it's a done deal, and they can't undo it.
I'm planning on coloring it purple. Is that cool?
Well, coloring is a good part of it, but I'd even change the shape.
Right. Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm gonna color the other ones different colors, and that will be the one that's purple.
And the other thing that I don't see as a clear read is that stone's coming from the hooded person.
Yeah, like I said, I had to kind of,
Isn't that in the second?
I sort of imagined
page?
that you were looking over his shoulder as he tossed it in, and that's why how you could see it was him.
Hasn't that not happened yet?
No, you're looking over his shoulder up there, and now you're seeing a stone drop in down there, but there's no connection between that person. So I was actually, when I was writing it, imagined that as he was throwing it in, we were looking over his or her shoulder, because it's actually a woman, and that we saw it coming out of their hand into the ring, because we were looking, like we were standing right behind them, and their hand came out and the stone is coming out of their hand. So that's sort of how I imagined it. It doesn't have to be that way, but as it is right now,
if you look at the panel
I don't see anything that connects the hooded person to the stone falling in to the ring, and that's a very important story point.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
Well, we can rework it, and I'll have to read the art notes again. Again, important as a writer, and I don't have the script in front of me, but as an artist, just like today, my perspective, I changed everything on this guy. Like, I wasn't picturing that, but it kind of works. Sometimes as an artist, we don't think the same way as the writer. So if it's vitally important, the story, make sure that it's bold, or if that's the vision that you have or want the panels to reflect, because I don't want to leave anything into interpretation, because we don't think the same. We all don't think the same, but I can definitely see your point. But I can also see Eve's point, because on her, I guess, side, because of the movement lines, it looks like someone threw it in there because the other one's already laid down. I can make that leap of faith. But if you will make it for an easier read, I can definitely tell where you're coming from. And with that said, let's look at the panel again. Is anyone mentioning or talking about this right now? Because I want to hear what some other people have to say as well.
While we're looking around, Eve, maybe a quick fix would be the panel that you've got the hand on right now with her crawling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's vitally important. What if you switch that out to show like the lower half of the face of the person that's got the stone kind of holding it up and looking at it right before it gets dropped in? I think that would sell that they dropped it.
I think that's a good idea.
I thought about it too, that either change that panel or this one where the hooded figure would be seen. So I definitely can change those.
That was just my thought, to make it a change that won't take a huge amount of time for you.
And I don't want you to feel frustrated, Eve, because I know, like you said, you've never done comic book work before. You've done an excellent job, but it happens all the time.
I certainly don't want anyone to think that I'm complaining, because I think Steven's done a beautiful job here. And I'm just trying to pick story points to make sure that they come across clearly.
No, those are great points, Mr. Ray.
Yeah, I don't take any offense in it. I just, when you read the script over and over, And you as an artist, you know what you want to express, so some stuff is kind of already clear to you. And when I was kind of thinking, okay, which part, because I had kind of like 10 more panels to kind of really showcase every facet and every side of the conversation and of this scene in particular, how it's going to go down. And of course, usually you don't put more than 9 panels on a page to have a good read, and kind of pick and choose which one is essential and which one isn't, to convey a condensed version of what's in the script if there's not enough space on the page to do it. So yeah, it can be definitely can be changed. It was just kind of, yeah, maybe I was too much into the script and trying to figure out a way to shorten the whole thing up a bit.
Well, as I'm looking at it, Steve mentioned that one where you see the baby sort of partially crawling, and then there's the one up, the second one down on the right where she's looking around. Those don't actually need to be there.
And they're there for the speech. To not have, for example, because there the priest is kind of addressing, I don't know if it was the girl itself to choose wisely which stone she's going to get have some kind of half-empty panel to have a place to put the dialogue in, if you know what I mean. To
Okay.
kind of
He could be saying that on the one that goes across horizontal,
mm-hmm.
where we're also showing the hooded person in there that could be doing double duty. He's in front of her, she's looking at him. He could be saying, choose wisely right there.
It's up to Derek when he's doing the lettering, but yeah, sure.
I mean, we can change the dialogue around if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
So we probably need to chat about that as you're doing the pages. This is my first time writing a comic. It's your first time drawing one. So we need to work together to figure out how to make the pieces fit.
The mage is the only one talking through that dialogue, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So it could be like after on the bottom after the left one.
Hey, listen, check it out, guys. We're going to have this chat off air. I see where Ray's coming from. Eve, you did a brilliant job. Again, you read the script, and the thing I want, and I'm not trying to bust anyone's balls, what I encourage the next few or 3 or 4 pages or whatever, I want you to do this, Mr. Ray. Panel 1 this, panel 2 this, panel 3 that. That way we have an exact match what you're thinking. Otherwise, you're leaving it up to the artist's interpretation. That way there's no room for error in communication. And then we can nail it down the way you want. And I also I don't really want any more than 5 panels, maybe 6 to a page. That way there's room for chat bubbles, and that way we can have a really good story read. And it'll actually lengthen the book as well, but we can really get in there and do detail. Because what Eve and I were talking about, there was so much going on that page, she literally had to cut it to another page to try to make it, an interesting story, and try to make everything in your visions come down on the page.
Yeah, but in Ray's defense, I read the rest of the script. I think that page 3 was a kind of an exception. There were some parts that were kind of maybe a bit crowded, but he did this kind of panel 1, 2, 3. So even when you asked me some hours ago if I want to do another page, and I already read the script, I had those kind of pictures in my head how it could look or should look. And I think that page 3 was kind of really an exception to the rest of the script. So yeah.
But we definitely want to make sure that all the information that we're trying to convey, because what film has, as opposed to what we have film has movement, and what we're doing is taking snapshots of frozen time, and it's really important that we convey what the story is, and Ray's done a fantastic job on the story. And again, it's your first time doing a comic, and you've done one hell of a job, girl. It's the first story Ray's done for a comic, and he's done a great freaking job. I mean, just the concepts alone are just mind-boggling. So we're going to learn to marry this together, and keep the good work up.
Like I said, I used to do manga, and manga has some more loose panel design, if you want to call it that, when it comes to arranging panels. So that was kind of my problem, if you want to call it that, to kind of really stick to a more traditional or more American version of panel layouts and not go totally overboard with it. But yeah, sequential art, I've been doing that since high school, I think.
Now, is it just me, or does she look older in this one?
It got harder and harder to kind of get to do a baby. I know she kind of got older. I think, or at least she looks older, especially since here it's kind of, the head is kind of tilted back, and the back is arched, so it kind of looks.
Well, here's the $10 million thing, seriously. What always chaffed me and burnt my biscuits is it may take me like 3 to 4 hours to do a page, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else. I look at the page, read it, flip it. Read the page, flip it. We have a good read. We know it's the baby. She's still on the ground, has her hair. You have a good shot. She does look a little bit older in some of them. The bottom left panel. But again,
but honestly, that's where Wolf doing great color will come in. When that person is all those same colors, the reader's eye will go right over that age difference.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. I've been keeping that in mind. That's
brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff.
Hey, I want to say that I really, really like what you did with the hair. However, it does make them more elf-like to have all that hair, the head shape, but it looks really good at the same time.
I think I told you yesterday, but basically, because I didn't have Chelsea's page to work with how they're supposed to look, so I basically went with what I already did and drew, so that the fire clan has kind of dreads. But the thought was that, well, the baby wouldn't be born with dreads. It may have short hair before it gets all frizzled and stubble and gets into those kind of dreadlock appearance that the mother has. And yeah, so basically I gave her hair that would basically change later on. So that's also why she's got those kind of strands. If I were, for example, drawing real manga, I wouldn't have bothered with so many different strands and trying to keep it that angular, especially in consideration to Derek's style of drawing. It didn't work out 100% of the time to be more angular, because in some cases when I tried to do a more angular face, she always kind of looked older.
You're totally right. That's a great point. The adults, I mean, they're angular because they have low body fat, but babies, they're chubby.
Yeah, here is basically because there's so many lines. I always had this kind of in the back of my head considered that I'm trying to be more angular and more to have those kind of sharp edges, but in the same on the same time, yeah, it's a baby, and it's really kind of hard to pull off. That's one of the reasons that I think why I was drawing the kid looked in parts older than it's supposed to.
And with that said, you're talking about styles. Steve and I talked about it. He's like, what are we going to do with the style? Or is everyone going to do that American fusion thing that you do? And that's the thing I don't want. I mean, it'd be great if we could get one artist to say, okay, you're going to do like the entire book. But reality is we're not paying anybody for this. This is all volunteer right now. And I really hope and I really believe there's going to be strong exposure for all the artists that are doing this. We have lots of people looking at us right now. But the important thing is we want to showcase different artists. And I didn't want it to be about, it's 3D Buzz and it's Derek's comic book. Look at all his art. No, I don't want that. That's not why we're here. We're here to showcase up-and-coming artists, help them out, and get exposure. So that's how we're going to build this thing. It is done by many artists in different styles. And the thing I think it's going to tie us all together, like Steve said, is what's color work.
Yeah, as long as there's some hair. I've actually given her orange hair, just like in one of Eve's drawing. But as long as there are things like that to where you can go, oh, that's her. I think it would be really cool if I kind of wish that we had more artists drawing it so we could see lots of different styles. I mean, it's cool if every page was a different style,
Well, you know what? Speaking of that, that is a great segue. Miss Eve, if you have a moment, and Chelsea, if she's ready, let's take her page and see what that looks like. Can you bring Chelsea and Mr. Rubik's Cube?
Try and get Chelsea's mic up if you can, but pull my screen. I've got her stuff loaded because she's still having issues.
Roger that. Eve, beautiful work, baby girl. Love it.
Yes, you.
I hate this head. I hate this head.
You there, Chelsea? Yes, I am here, and I love the background that you did in your comic book. It is not pink. My father's on crack. I know that, Chelsea, but it's not nice to say that in public. That's all right. I very much like you so much better, Derek. I know that, but seriously, stop it.
I think her mic's not working.
No, we can't hear you, Chelsea.
Nelson, have we opened her up on our end?
Yes.
Are you muted, perhaps, on your end, Chelsea?
She had to reload her browser. She's having all sorts of issues tonight, so we might be out of luck.
All right. Let's say we're out of luck right now. And mine was the first page just to kind of give a feel of the world. And Mr. Ray, jump in if you want. I love the first page. We have hair on the chick. And again, it's going to be orange, like you're talking about. I love the second panel where she's pointing at the other little Elysian chick, who's, I'm assuming it's a girl, has her soul stone in. And I love the concerned look the mom has to the dad. They're not dressed super rich and fancy. The backdrop, the buildings, they're nothing fancy. There are no cathedral-like things. It's down and dirty. It is a family-type setting. I love it. I like it. And Mr. Ray, I hope you agree. I love the expressions on the face.
Yeah, it absolutely works for me.
Chelsea, you did a great job. Do you understand this? We're making a comic book, guys. We have almost 4 pages done to this.
Now, could I make a suggestion?
Sure.
This is beautiful work that Chelsea's done. It's beautiful work that Eve has done. But before we settle on a page in the panel layout, maybe when it's just in a very rough layout stage, I can look at it, talk to the people about it, make the kind of comments that, and get their ideas, and maybe we can change the wording if that's looking to be a problem, so that when they go into this clean art. It's not like, oh, well, what about, you know?
Right. No, I agree. And that all goes back to talking to their client. For the most part right now, I mean, you're the right, well, you are the writer, talking about the client. You need to be kept abreast with thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. And it's a learning process, but I would encourage all the other pages moving forward that, you know, we throw thumbnails your way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and maybe just stick them in the Dropbox and send me an email, or I can give you my phone number and you can send me a text. Go look at this. What do you think? You know, I'm having a ball doing this, and I don't want to come back in after someone has spent the kind of time that's been taken with this and say, oh, yeah, and that's beautiful, except something that could have been fixed when it was just rough pencils.
I agree. Other artists, do you concur?
Yeah, I think thumbnails wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
Yep.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing the final product here. Chelsea, you did a great job, and I know I busted your chops several times because I stay up late at night and I hear, bling, I'm like, who's online? Xbox, because I'm like listening to stuff. And I'm like, oh, Chelsea's online. Check it out. What do you think of this, Mr. Ray? She's got another one for the Beast.
Yeah, that's great. I like it doesn't look like a dog. It doesn't look like a cat. It's its own animal, and it's got the muscles and the heavy front end. It's a scary, scary guy. And
I love the subtleties of the colors that she put in there for the,
yeah,
I'm assuming stripes.
yeah, that works real well for me.
Yeah, that's pretty BA.
Okay, here's the anatomy part. I love it. You can tell the deltoids are at. Believe it or not, animals like that do have a bicep and tricep, and you have your brachial muscles. They're all there. Great, great job, Chelsea. Very proud of you. I love the mane, and I love your color work. And I like the red eyes. Can you imagine that sleeping at the foot of your bed?
Yeah, I don't think you'd have to worry about walking down a dark alley if that was your companion.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Too bad it's the size of a chihuahua. You guys don't know that, but it's true. Bark, bark, bark. I'm teasing. It's not a chihuahua. It's huge. Well done, Chelsea.
And then right before class, I did some quick concepting of a village type area using some, oh dear, where'd my screen go?
Did we just lose him?
You there, Steve?
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
You're
Yeah.
good.
Hang on a sec.
Is that your screensaver?
That is, looks like it's like I overdrove my system and I can't get Photoshop to come back up.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Rubik's Cube, if you can take Wolf's screen, he can go through the color stuff. So, Mr. Steve, I got cool hair. You don't, Derek, can sort that out. You ready, Wolf?
Yeah.
All right, let's see
All
what you got so far on my
Okay.
leaks page.
Okay.
Talk about your rain first. Talk about your rain first. Then.
You want me to do? I can come back to the rain. Why don't we
Okay.
come back to the rain just in case? All right. It's kind of light, but I think it really. All right. That was a joke. I'm sorry.
Nice job. I love the shading and the
Yeah.
tones on that guy's freaking robe.
Thanks. That was the trickiest part. You know, it's I had it in my mind, and then I had to keep working on it because it wasn't looking good. It wasn't looking good. I kept changing it. And then
What I love, and going back to art class, if you look at the guy stretching his arms out, it'd be screen his left arm, that shadow underneath, that's an indicator of where his arm's at, and it's just beautifully done. Well done.
thanks. Yay! I'm glad you like it.
I do, very much.
There's one little, I wouldn't call it mistake, but the shirt on the back is kind of,
Oops.
yeah, can you go? Yeah.
Yeah,
On the panel where he's holding her, there's a gap between, or supposed to be a gap between the top and her briefs. The third panel.
oh, down here?
Down there.
Okay.
It's
What's up?
basically a two-piece
Oh,
outfit.
right here. That
Yeah.
should be skin? Yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't sure about that. Because
I know I showed it later on the fourth page where you can see it clearly.
yeah, because it wasn't bunching. It didn't look like it was bunching up, so I thought, oh, maybe it's some kind of outfit thing.
My bad.
No,
Yeah.
hey guys, this is a collaborative. We're working together and we're learning together. Nothing wrong with it.
But yeah, I really like how I put the little shadows underneath these guys, and that really makes them pop more. I like it.
They do.
Yeah.
It's a little more 3D. So yeah, this it's funny. I had a lot of trouble finding the right color for the ground because it's like it would either, most of them would kind of swallow up this guy, his skin color, and then whenever I got away from that, it would swallow up her skin color. Then I finally found this. I'm like, yes, it
Finally.
works. You know, so that's why it's that color, because it's the one that works.
Very solid answer, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, and I think, as you see, I try to get a skin color that is kind of in between. So I wanted them to be different skin colors for just because visually it's more interesting, and because they're of different classes. So I thought, you know, they could have been of different races as well, and that would kind of that would just be another indicator that they're of possibly different classes. And so I think that went well. I decided that she, you know, you did the orange hair, so I decided to take her after her father.
I didn't actually do any orange hair. I think I know what you mean, but
yeah, in one of your baby things. Anyway, that's where I got it from, and so I added some marks, like you did. Oops. Added these ones around the eye and down here and stuff. You had these ones.
Yeah, because in the script it says the father is water tribe, and yeah, because I didn't know how he's going to end up looking, I went with the design I gave some weeks ago, that he has basically some gills.
Ah, I see what you're saying.
Oh, gills. Huh. Maybe I should change this color to green. I mean, not green, blue.
Yeah.
For water. I don't
Well,
know.
that seafoam thing, I would like that. I think that'd be great, especially if the script calls for it. And if you going back to earlier part of the class today, whenever I made notes like this is fire, this is air, this is earth, this is blah. Nothing wrong with making art notes, because a lot of times, I mean, we all have access to the script, but things get convoluted and stuff. So as an artist, if I want to make sure there's certain elements made, certain color choices, I'll either send a different attachment, or I'll make notes that I know they can, you know, erase and make a different layer sort of thing. So I also encourage all the artists that will be working on this to do that as well, to make sure that the point's driven home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You had your lines stop here, so I didn't really know what you were going for, so I just
I left some space for a speech bubble. I thought that basically it would be covered up by text, so I didn't bother finishing the arm, because the page had lots and lots of dialogue, especially from the priest. So yeah, that was the reason I kind of saved time there. Another quick thing that's not really bad, but those kind of circles in the hair of the mother, those kind of beads, so
Oh, yeah.
clasps and stuff like that, so they would
That's right. I
be
forgot
used.
those.
Yeah, just
What
for
about
future
him for those
reference.
beads as well?
So basic, what? No, because he was supposed to be water type, and I thought maybe that's
Yeah.
seaweed, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to draw. I thought it's kind of bubbles or ripples or whatever it's called in the seaweed. It's kind of the texture and look.
Oh,
No, this is good. It's good that we're talking about it. This is why I really want to make the pages beforehand where we don't have to like, okay, we got to have it done now, and we make lots of mistakes. And mistakes are meant to happen, and we're going to learn from them. So that's good. Again, let's go to the panels. Does anybody have any questions or comments on what's going on? Any words of encouragement and affirmation, please? That would be very nice for our artists. They have spent lots of time on this for you guys and for themselves and for the website. If you want to say, hell yeah, well done, I'd love to hear from you. Eve, you did a great job. Wolf, you're fantastic. Mr. Ray, we will continue to work hard to bring your story to life. Mr. Steve, you suck it. Suck it, my friends.
what do you guys think of this? I decided instead of just plain color that I'd give it some texture.
I like that. That's one of the
Yeah.
first things I noticed. It was really well done.
It's really great. It's also one thing that I really kind of, in the third panel, is kind of really nice looking texture. One of the first thing I noticed too. So yeah.
Cool.
Well done, sir.
I
Did
have
I
to
like
say,
the marks? Oh, go ahead.
I have to say I am absolutely blown away at how good all of this is. Beyond anything I imagined. Wow.
I also want to comment on her line weight variation. I mean, you got some strong line weights here, and I know in manga it's usually just one line weight, and then you do everything with tones and that. And I appreciate you, going that extra mile and going out of your comfort zone to make it more of an American fusion style.
Actually, no. Manga, I think on the first or second week of the class, what was it, Drawing 101? I asked you about line weight in the hair because in manga it's that you have line weight and you have a different line weight between hair and body or clothing. Usually hair is drawn with finer lines. Even they have line weight differences in it too, but usually when you have, for example, you ink it and you have pens, you take, for example, a 0.5 to draw the character and a 0.1 or 0.3 to do the hair
Really?
pen. Yeah.
Because in my world, I don't use anything under a 5 because when it shrinks down, you can't see it. And that's just the art that I'm used to. So I, too, am learning, and nothing wrong with that. That's interesting.
Basically, there was all kind of learning by doing. I had lots of, Japanese people who are manga fans or otaku, and I don't know if I'd said it once, but my background basically is East Asian studies. So I'm fluent in Japanese, and it's kind of the big passion, at least when I was a teen.
All right, you need to prove this now and say that Derek rocks and Steve sucks in Chinese. Go for it.
In Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese.
I don't know Chinese.
Oh, Japanese, sorry. Yeah.
Japan. それはね、デレクさんは本当にすごくだよね。でもスティーブさんはちょっと違うだね。だからな、よくでしたね。本当にデレク先生は本当にすごくいい先生だよね。
Let me translate for you, Steve. Suck it!
Actually, the Sibaku, she reversed that just to get back at you, just so you know.
And you'll never know.
I heard Sensei. That's all I heard. And see, what you're going to commit Harry Carey? Super cool. That's what that is, right? Wow, Eve, you don't have my back at all. Bist du ein Arschloch? Deutsch mein Gott. Was ist los, mein Frau? Scheiße auch.
I didn't understand you. I kind of lighting a cigarette right now. Had both hands and everything occupied.
Nice cover, Eve.
Yeah. I can't hear that.
The light. You didn't hear the lighter through the mic?
No, I didn't hear that, but tell you what, I'll turn it up for you if you know what I mean. All right, with that.
Derek,
do you remember?
quick, I just want to get Ray's take. I was doing some quick photo bashing before class, and I think I have Photoshop back up. So.
All right, Mr. Rubik's Cube, can you please take Steve's screen? Steve, I don't need any gel. My hair's that cool, Curtis.
Before you look at the eyes, did I capture?
You did.
Oh well.
Holy
Did you
crap,
remember when
I
Eve did that thing with the eyes? Just trying to do follow.
What you mean? What I did
It
with
doesn't
the
matter.
eyes? Okay.
Go on.
Steve,
Yeah.
you got the con. That is brilliant, man.
It's a lot of stealing and painting over, but I was trying to go with something where cities coming out of stone a little more, and it seemed to me that the story just felt like it was taking place not necessarily in a small village, but in kind of a villagey, mountainy setting. And I just want to get Ray's take.
I'm thinking that it's not a big city and it's not a small village. It's sort of a Poughkeepsie. It's not New York or Chicago, and it's also not, just a small little town with the 200 people in it.
I love that you picked Poughkeepsie. That's awesome.
So yeah, sort of middle of the road kind of a place, and I like the look.
All right, great. I will continue to play with that.
And Derek,
Yes, sir.
if I could get my screen for just a minute.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to save the best for last. You got your stuff ready we talked about?
I got my guy.
All right. Okay, guys and gals, here's the big reveal. Mr. Ray Curtis, not Ray Curtis, sorry about that.
So,
Mr. Ray Lewis.
It's okay, he is that cool.
He is,
all right.
nice.
You did the whole mock-up?
So ultimately, hopefully we'll have something like this that people can play around with. Only, of course, Alethea, this is just something I took from our friends at Unity. But there you go, guys. Starting to come to life.
Pretty damn cool. Well done. I told you Mr. Ray's Renaissance man. Well done. And Steve, tell them about Unity, how it's free and all that now.
Well, the recent news, Basic Unity has always been free, but they've now also opened up the iOS and Android developments on the free end. So you can develop phone games on it now for free too. So.
Yeah, everything I'm showing right here is using the free version of Unity.
Nice. So we have plans, by the way, to help developers develop lots of stuff in Unity very soon. So I say that to say some very cool stuff coming down the pipeline for 3D Buzz. We'll open it up again for any questions or comments, then we'll do the round table thing and we'll get out of here. Any questions or comments, Mr. Rubik's Cube, from the questions panel?
Sid wants to show some of her stuff. We skipped over it.
I'm sorry, I forgot Sid was here. Crap on a cracker. Can you take Sid's screen? Because she's got some cool stuff tonight to show us.
Hello.
Hey, baby girl, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Hi, I can't wait to see you. I love what you've been doing with this. I didn't know you were here. I'm sorry. I totally spaced out.
Yep, here.
Been thinking about your dad's cool hair, and it's really got me down. It's all right.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
But, oh, what were you saying?
No, I was babbling. Show us, baby.
Well, first of all, I can probably do a comic page because right now I do have a surplus of free time. It's just when Jason gets back, I will have less free time, but he's not here right now.
All right, you're going to be up for page 5. Is that cool with you, Eve? You're doing 3, 4. You'll do 5, and I'll do 6. Or
You
what?
mean you're going by the script? So I just did the 3rd page. I did it in 2 pages, but so when you go by the script, it's page 4 is
Okay.
still missing.
All right, well, you'll do page 4, Miss Sid. How's that? And I'll do 5.
Okay.
All right, anyway, continue to show us what you got, because I love your costumes and outfit designs. Brilliant stuff.
I still think these are better, but yeah, this is just concept stuff. And this, I had a black and white. I colored it. I'm not big on the colors I use, but it was just to get an idea. But that was a town idea. Kind of
Okay. Well,
mountain-esque.
I like the crystals.
Thank you.
Crystal light.
Yep, there's that. This was just a casual outfit. Again, I think Eve's are better.
But it looks kind of like the one.
I did see
before the
one. You
fire.
had like the top maroon and the bottom green or something, and I was like, "Whoa, that's like mine."
I like
Yeah.
the designs on the skirt.
Yeah, me too. I was going to say that.
Yeah, the
looks really
patterns
nice.
are nice.
Thank you. This one I'm not a huge fan of, but it was more of a evening higher look.
I got to say I like it because it's see-through and sheer.
It doesn't have to be see-through. I just like being able to see the body work.
I prefer. I'm a guy, and hands up, who likes see-through? Me. Guess who has 2 thumbs and likes see-through clothing on hot chicks? Me. All right,
Yeah,
well done.
When she put it on Facebook, I said, that looks awesome, except we can see her hoo-ha.
We can't see her.
It doesn't have to be see-through.
You know what? Wolf can put a shadow there on the hoo-ha. Okay, no hoo-has or nipples showing.
Moving on.
Now we can have the topic about the hoo-ha if you want.
No.
That's
So,
what I
so you think darkening the area would hide? Maybe not the best choice.
Everyone shut up.
Uh,
I love that skirt, man. That is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was my favorite. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it looks really great. I would personally, for example, take it for import an NPC because it's kind of really that special and kind of really well designed that I wouldn't put it on every
I can see that.
NPC in town. For example, it would lose a lot if every NPC woman in a specific town would walk around with that. But if there's kind of
I personally would like to see every hot chick with that, but that's just me. And can you make the hoo-ha see-through?
no.
This looks like this looks like someone. Yeah, this looks like someone that you get a quest from or something or some
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
It would
Very
lose
possible.
a lot if you use it too often. On
I love
different
it. I love how it
It'd
hangs.
be someone
Yeah.
you can recognize with that outfit.
Yeah.
Someone that you can easily recognize.
I've been
from the
recognizing
text.
it all day long.
I'm just drawing stuff. Other people can choose what to do with it.
I love you, Sid. All right, what else you got?
I have
Show
lately
us that.
discovering that I like drawing armor. This is one of them.
I love that.
Ignore
drawing.
the Brog beast. It's
That
not
is nice.
anywhere near as good as Chelsea's, but the armor.
The armor is hot.
Thank you.
It's sexy. Okay, here I go doing the tirade of if I was a 13-year-old kid. I like the boobies and hoo-has, but I'm not for sure why. Okay, probably should have said that. But with that said, that shows the form of the figure, and it has a little bit of protection to it as well. So you have functionality, but you still see the shape and the figure. It's a good read. I love your sword. I mean, the armor is great, but I love that weapon that she has.
Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, you know, it might have like a jewel here or somewhere else, you know, plus, you know, 5 to fire power or whatever and stuff like that. And we were going on about dragons before, so I thought, you know, a little touch of dragon steel look. And I liked the see-through fabric to make it, you know, feminine.
I like the sheer stuff. I can't lie. Just saying.
Good job, Sydney.
Thank you.
Well done, Sid. I'm proud of you, kiddo. But
Here
no,
was my first one.
I love that.
It reminds me of a drawing I've seen from the BioWare crew where they basically took the whole, I think, Mass Effect crew into the Dragon Age universe and how their sci-fi armor would look in medieval fantasy stuff.
I really
I like
that
the colors. Good colors.
Thank you.
I
Yeah, that
love
was the
your
first
feet.
one. You like the feet?
I do.
Good. Feet are hard. Feet and hands are hard.
Feet and see-through. Never mind.
Stop. And this was another one, kind of like a plain, but
I felt
white
terrible.
through pure heroic.
All my
look.
chicks were almost naked. And
They can be sexy with clothes, Derek.
Yeah.
not as sexy, but true.
Let's just say you telegraphed your feelings a long time before you said them.
All right. I hate you all.
I love this one, but basically it's my love for Final Fantasy and those kind of, no offense, ridiculous kind of designs where you think how this armor is attached to the rest of the outfit. I really, really love it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Final Fantasy, but thanks.
I love the feet covering that you have on. There's a lot of thought and detail in it. And again, the
I got
weapon.
the foot thing from Chelsea.
Chelsea's awesome. And I know she's like, what'd she say? She tagged me on Facebook. Listen, you suck it, suck it. I'm still working on it. I'm going to play my games whether you like it or not, so suck it.
I really.
How do you respond to that?
You tell her to suck it. The plates on the leg are really nice.
It's a very good touch. Very, very
Really
good
like
touch.
what you did with those.
Suck it. Muffins.
All right. And this isn't done. This is a quick one, but I realized I hadn't done any kind of helmets, and this was kind of an idea of kind of like a dragon-looking thing. I don't know how easy it is to tell because there's no color, but it's
I
work
like
in
it.
progress.
I see eyes.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see
Like
it.
here?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like.
I wasn't thinking of that, but I could work that in.
You don't say that, Chelsea. Damn it, Sid. Why do I do that? Son of a gun. I know, right? Even when they're in front of me, Sid's got this flaming red hair. Chelsea does not. And I still screwed it. I'm old, okay? I can't help it. Well done. I'm so
But yeah,
proud.
that's what I've got.
Very proud. Okay, so you're going to do page 4.
Yeah, I'm going to
Do you
need
have-
people to talk to me about that.
All right, do you have Mr. Ray's information?
I'm not sure. Somewhere, probably.
I will get it to you at the end of class or first thing in the morning.
All right.
Because I think it's going to be great if we have 4 to 5 different artists. And poor Wolf, wah, wah, you got to color it all. Sorry about that, buddy. Suck it up, Buttercup.
I know.
You're a colorist.
We'll try to have a lot
Company
cleaner
calls
lines
it.
for you all.
Thanks.
It'd really be nice just to have some rough layouts so that, I can at least get my 2 cents in.
Yes.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Guys, awesome job. Great class tonight. Next week, we'll definitely show you what's going on in your comic book as well, but we still need to be developing some things. And I know Steve's got some ideas about what needs to be developed next. Go ahead and share, Steve.
Yeah, that was a nice payback, buddy. Good job.
Suck it.
Yeah, okay, on the spot. Anyway, we talked last week with some of my environment people about refining some of those, so I would like to see those next week. Wolf, I know I'm really putting you under the gun with all the coloring and stuff, but, well, there you go. I'm going to do that anyway. So.
All right, so
Wait, I couldn't quite hear all of that except that you're putting me under the gun. What was the first part?
Basically, I'm carrying over last week's homework for the environment stuff to get that refined. And I know between that and coloring, I'm asking you not to sleep, but But hey, I don't, so, you know.
Sleep is
Yeah,
really.
I'm an sociopath, so I don't really do guilt, so.
I didn't get any more work on that.
Well, that's what you got for next week. Let's see what you can do.
Okay.
Doesn't look like Donald's here tonight, so I'll email him. On the character side,
Chelsea,
I'm
Since
not the
you're-
character lead. So.
Roger that. Chelsea, what do you want to see for characters next week?
Don't you mean
You're
Sydney?
talking to the wrong
Damn
girl.
it. Ah, cracker. I haven't had
You
any
guys just
adult
need to
friends.
change your names.
I know, right? All right,
It'd be so much
continue.
easier.
Pretend I'm not even here. I mean, my wife does. It's all good.
Oh, jeez. I'm not totally sure.
I'm thinking, and if you concur, some more work in the armor. I like what they're going. What I like to focus on, and I don't want to rip anything off, but I like the Final Fantasy look, the piece together armor. Let's look at that and see what we can influence off that for armor. Not so much for females, because I love the female.
Yeah, male armor.
Let's do some male armor for next week.
I did also really like the one that had the stone in the center of the chest.
Yeah, that one's my favorite so far.
Which one? Let me see.
Which one?
That was
This one.
beautiful.
Both. Those, this one, especially, I don't know, the chest plate is very similar from this one and the other one with, which is completely white, but I really liked both of those, especially with this kind of
Yeah, I
red.
don't know why. I liked the shape, so
Yeah,
I
it's
kept
it's
it
great.
along with the leg stuff.
Well, we're also with all the cloth stuff that Eve's done, which is brilliant, but I also like the direction that's going, because this is definitely a sci-fi feel to it with everything else that's going on. You got the medieval weapon, the melee weapon, but it's sort of sci-fi feel, and that's what I hope that we're trying to marry right here. So next week, character artist, male armor, at least 2 apiece. Can we agree to that?
We can agree to that.
Right. Any questions in the comments from the panel? I just seen someone write Steve.
Miguel has his hand up.
Okay. Yeah, where's Miguel been at tonight? I never have the list in front of me. Miguel, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Derek. Fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have the list in front of me. I'm not that smart and talented to be able to pull everything up at once. I'm the good looking one. Steve's the brains behind the whole thing.
Just remember you said that.
I know.
Well, I just wanted to show my two outfits I made.
Please do. Can you take Miguel's stream, Mr. Rubik's Cube? And we're almost there. Stay on target. Stay on target. Can't stay on. Ooh. I like that. I like that a lot. I love the drawing too. Miguel, you saucy little vixen dude.
Yeah, well, I think that could be like something of priest or how do you call it?
I've never seen
yeah.
shoes on a lithium before. I really like that.
And you didn't pay attention.
I'm gonna go back outside in my rainy Jeep. Screw you all. I'm going. Mr. Ray's even laughing.
Rainy
Come
Jeep
on.
understands you.
Yeah, the rainy Jeep understands me. I have weapons out there. I'm gonna kill a freaking skunk and raccoon in a minute.
Yeah, I'd understand you. That's why I dropped its door on your foot.
Yeah, I know. Stupid Jeep. All right, let's talk about your creation, Miguel. What was your inspiration?
Well, I was thinking something Greek. I really love Greek culture, and I was thinking maybe that could be something of a how do you say it? A priest, the woman that guards a temple.
I love are those flowers in her hair?
It's more like some jewelry. I
Okay,
think
I
I
can see
didn't get.
Maybe
Maybe
crystal
I
layer
could
or
change the
something?
colors.
Really a great read, dude. And what's so awesome about this, I seriously live in a vacuum, and I think a lot of artists do who are not part of a studio. You can tell from my page, they're all naked. And I forgot hair. I'm like, hot chicks with elongated heads. Yeah, hurry up and do this. I really love the thought process behind everybody, what everyone has brought to the table. I feel shamed, and I'm holding my head down low right now for my page because you guys have just blown me away. And that's awesome that you've done that. And I hate you all, but I mean that out of love. Suck it.
Your page is awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Here's $5. Miguel, you got another one to show?
Yeah, this one is, I did it really quick. I didn't have time to color it properly.
I like it though. I like the cloak. We've not, okay, have I
Makes
paid
me think of
attention?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. I've not seen any cloaks, right, Eve?
I did some veils and scarves that kind of wrap around the head and the body.
Keywords kind of. So I've not seen it.
When Wolf said that one of those pictures, because I sent him the first draft of those costumes, where I think 4 were still missing, and he said that one of those had orange hair. It was the one on the top right. It was a sari, which is worn in India, and they have kind of always a veil, that long veil on their head.
No, you drew a baby thing.
Ach, yeah, that one. Right.
A long time ago, yeah, or
Yeah.
a while ago.
Now I know what you meant. I thought because I showed you because of the design of the mother, the dress, that you meant the orange one in the picture.
Yeah, I tried. I liked the orange hair and the orange yellow eyes, so I did that.
They're beautiful
But I just
eyes.
gave it different skin color, and hopefully I'm trying. Hopefully those colors. You guys can tell me. I'm trying to make it a little bit iconic to where you can easily recognize her. I think those colors are working.
Back to Miguel. What was your inspiration, Miguel, on this one?
Yeah, I know that it looks like Assassin's Creed. I honestly wasn't thinking about it. I was just looking at some pictures about wearing medieval clothing, and I really like the cloaking. I'm a very big fan of that.
There's nothing sheer or see-through. What's up with that? I'm teasing. I really like that idea about the cloak.
And it's okay. I didn't think about Final Fantasy, but it happened anyway.
Yeah, I know. I also, when I finish it, I said, "Hey, that looks like it's you." What?
Happy accidents. And I'm a firm believer there's nothing original anymore in the world. It's just we're taking bits and pieces from everything else and trying to make it as original as possible. I don't want anybody to rip anything off from anything. But it's okay to have influences. All artists do, so don't feel bad about that. And inevitably, like you said, you never played Final Fantasy, but someone, oh, that's Final Fantasy. There's just so much saturated out there right now, no matter what you think of, it's probably already been done. But you guys have done one hell of a job. Yes, sir.
I like how the shoes, the boots, they wrap around the feet, so it looks like, or the toes, so that it looks like the toes can still maybe latch on to things like a tree branch or whatever.
I feel like the claws should be able to come out of the boots though, because those are really handy tools.
Yeah, I think they should be open toed for the claws.
More like a sandal or something.
It's not an epic fail, just a small fail.
No.
It's not a fail.
No.
But I mean, very Woodland Ranger-ish. I do like it.
Yeah.
If I had any downsides, I would only say it's pushing towards Elvish again. But
It's
like
for me it's more like Dragon Age, so more classic Western fantasy, but it's a good read, and there are lots of nice details. For example, with the gloves, that they're kind of have those flaps and those ribbons on the arms. I really like that, and it was kind of a racing glove-esque, white spotted. I don't know if it's meant to be left uncovered, or if there's something on it.
No, it's meant to be uncovered.
Yeah, so it's has lots of details, and it's well, really an interesting read, because even though the shapes and forms are kind of, well, classic Western fantasy, woodland elvish type, it's got enough variety in it that makes it stand out.
Awesome.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I do really like it.
Well done. It's very well done, and it was thought out well. And with that, we were like way over time. I just want to give props and kudos to everybody here. You guys have blown me away. I know they've blown Mr. Ray away. It's so cool as an artist to see things. For me, whenever Wolf dropped color on it, I told him, man, he's breathing life into my artwork. And I know we're breathing life into Mr. Ray's artwork and Buzz's vision as well about everything. I wish you guys could have seen how excited he was, and we got to show him all the concept pieces we did for it. And there's still so much going on behind the scenes that we can't tell. I wish we could tell, but you guys, you're not working in vain. There's lots of people taking notes, consideration, and blown away by what you guys and gals have done. So we have our art assignments. Last thoughts. Miss Eve, last thought.
Wolf, when it comes to coloring, just popped into my head. I really liked the color he dropped, but maybe one thing to consider, especially for the skin colors, for example, of the Elysians, if maybe making them a little more colorful instead of kind of sticking to kind of brown, grayish colors would be a way to go, to make it more visually interesting, and to have not just the world kind of, even though it's a harsh environment, to be visually interesting, to have color in it. When you look at World of Warcraft, even though after, I think, Cataclysm or something, the world is in ruins and everything, it's still colorful, and so that was what popped into my head, that all the coloring is kind of grayish.
Are you including the light blue of the mage into that? It's kind of.
Yeah, but it's always I don't know if I can explain correctly. It's always kind of, for me, it looks kind of pale. Everything's kind of washed out colors. That's just a thing maybe to play around with or consider. I don't know if I'm alone with this. It just popped into my head that always they look kind of, yeah, really kind of grayish and washed out colors. To maybe
Could I
show
throw
more
a thought
color.
in there?
Please do.
Kind of towards what Eve's saying. Like, I'm okay with most of the characters being kind of grayish and pale, but I feel like with like the mage that's doing the ritual and the hooded guy who's throwing out the stone and the main character, people who have special roles should have maybe different skin colors, or like with the main character, maybe she should be the only one in that clan with red hair, just so even as the styles go through in the comic, that's always one certain thing that you can point out. That's the main girl. That's who I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah, I have intended that only her father and her would have the orange hair.
Like I was thinking even maybe just because Eve had said she'd intended the father to be kind of water-like, maybe he could have greenish, bluish hair or something. I feel like if the main character's the only one with the orangish red hair, it'll really help identify her.
I could do that.
Because my thought behind was kind of, when you look, for example, at Avatar or stuff like that, even though it's a wild environment, the colors are vibrant. If you go to, we had some artwork for environments and cities, they have those bright colors and stuff like that, and some of the coloring, I don't know if you know, for example, Dragon Age 2, was kind of really bleak, and all the colors were washed out, and it looks kind of more like old school Western fantasy, like medieval times, and not like, well, those kind of high fantasy sci-fi settings that are always kind of colorful. So to maybe, for example, if you take I don't know, brown or reddish color to make the tint and the vibrance of the color a bit more, more vibrant. It doesn't have to be, well, really signal red, but just to, I could show you on my screen, but that's not so important. It's
What do
kind
you
of
think
hard to
about?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about that, Derek? All that, the colors.
I agree, and what I really want us to do, and I think Mr. Ray will concur, we need to show, I guess, different skin tones. Because Deb, the sock puppet, nailed me on ethnicity. She's like, you're not drawing ethnic people. And she was right, I wasn't. I was drawing the classic Roman, blah, blah, blah. So I really want to make sure that we have different vibrant colors. And you tend to push towards one certain color palette. Nothing wrong with that, but just keep in mind, make sure that there's nothing wrong with, showing different colors for these Elethians.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's a color palette, but all three of those characters in front all had different skin colors. Or actually, all four, including the baby. But
yeah, it wasn't really kind of a criticism. It was just like maybe something to think about. I think, because I don't know if I can really explain what I mean, but when you look at stuff I did, the earlier concept that you took to Buzz, and the one with the costumes, I'm going to put on Dropbox after class. That even if the skin colors are really light and pastel, I really kind of, when you have this color picker, I try to stay away from the part where it tends to go to gray. So I go more for pastel coloring, so that the vibrance of the color used is still there, if that makes any sense.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if there had been more people to color, I would have had, some that had darker colors and things like that. But I just thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know Mr. Rubik's Cube has things to do. Last thoughts, Steve.
Only as you're coloring, bear in mind that the medium saturated blue of Avatar should be avoided at all costs. Other than that,
All right, good point. Mr. Ray, last thoughts.
I'm just blown away at the quality of the work. This is real fun.
and Ray, nice job with Unity, man.
Hell yeah. Mr. Miguel, do you have any last thoughts?
Well, I'm just awesome by all the work you guys done, and I will continue doing my job.
Hell's yeah, if not, I will deport you to America.
Oh, the horror.
I know, right?
It is the horror. But
how about you, Chelsea, not to be confused with Sid. Chelsea, baby girl, you got any last thoughts? She can't talk. Why the hell did I even ask? Sid! I hate you all. I really suck it. Sid, help me out here, baby. Please, pretty, please.
I just want to say I totally get where Eve is coming from, and definitely when the game is put into place, everything should, have vibrant colors, should have lots of variation. In the comic, I understand like racial differences, we want that, but for the most part, I'm okay with things being a little dull, and then the really important things like the jewel and the main character and dangerous creatures having the bright favorite colors just to help get the important things in the story across to the viewer.
Good point.
yeah, visually that she's dead on there.
Well done.
Thank you.
You must be adopted. With that said, last thoughts from me. Bad news. My Easy Bake Oven's broke. That really sucks. Can't make cookies for anybody anymore. That really bothers me.
No more brownies for you.
So, you know, brownies are good on the outset. They look good, but they're bad for you. Bad calories. There's ickiness stuff in and really wants to eat shit from an Easy Bake Oven. So with that said, I will try to find some other hobby to make me money. You know, I have a bake sale every Friday outside my patio. I just eat what's not sold. So I'm actually 500 pounds right now. And nothing wrong with that because I am bringing sexy back in all shapes and forms. With that, keep your feet on the ground, your ankles slightly above them. Art team, fantastically brilliant, good job. Mr. Rubik's Cube, do you have anything to say before you take us out?
No.
Last side note, Rubik's Cubes, I suck at them. We're out of here. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night.
Bye.